Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about the brand new Moondrop U2 hi-fi earbuds. Now, whenever Moondrop releases a product, I'm generally extremely excited. They've become one of my favorite audio companies, especially when it comes to IEMs. I like several of their headphones that they've released, but this product, which is more of a flathead style design earbud, is generally not a style that I'm a fan of. So I'm not as excited about these as I am normally a Moondrop product, but I am going in open-minded. I'm hoping that maybe they're going to do something that's going to be different than some of the other flathead style earbuds that I've tested. They are not expensive though. They only come in at $35, and the flathead style design is very reminiscent of what earbuds and even headphones used to be like that came with Walkman. So it's kind of a throwback. So that's kind of how I wanted to treat this. Now, as far as the packaging, it's not even typical Moondrop packaging, which has an anime girl in the front. It's usually a larger box. This is a very small box. In fact, the front of the packaging is clear. You can see the product just straight up through the packaging. Now, it does have the anime girl in the back where it gives its specs. There's not really a whole lot inside the box either. It comes with a little storage pouch to be able to carry these. It does come with 5 different sets of foam. We're not even going to call them ear tips. They're basically like ear covers. They just cover the flathead design, and this is to kind of keep them in your ears a little bit better. It also kind of tries to seal your ear tips a little bit. These are really made to have that open style design where you can listen to your music, you can still hear your surroundings. It's not like that complete seal inside of your ear. Now, I actually like the design of these overall. I like the fact that they have this industrial look to them by seeing the metal. You can see that the cable runs through this little adjuster that slides up and down on the outside of the earbud. The driver that's inside of these is a 14.8 millimeter dynamic driver. Now, it is using a paper cone and a paper dome. It's what it's called pulp paper, which it says is used in a lot of pretty powerful speakers. So it's nice that that is what's inside of these. So they're going for a more natural sound. At least that's the way that they describe it. Now, the cable that's on these is a twisted silver plated cable. It is using an angled 3.5 millimeter plug-in, so it just plugs into any kind of headphone jack that's using your standard 3.5 millimeter plug-in. There's no kind of adapters inside of the packaging, so that's the only type of connection that you have, because this pair really is just made to be plug and play. It's not made necessarily to need an amp to drive these. You can just plug them straight into your phone. If you have a headphone jack, you can plug them straight into a laptop, a tablet, anything, and not require an amp, because the impedance level on these is only 30 ohms, so it's not like a power hungry pair of earbuds. And again, it's just not requiring an amp to be able to get a lot of the bass, the mids, and the treble, where a lot of other IEMs and headphones in most cases generally need an amp. So we're going to talk about these as though I'm not using an amp. It's just plugged straight into devices. And I think that's what really makes these stand out. That you don't have to worry about charging them. They're not a pair of earbuds. You don't have to have an amp because of the way that they're tuned out of the box, which was surprising. I did not expect these to have any low end at all. That's kind of my experience with flathead style earphones. And surprisingly, these actually had a pretty nice punch. Now, it's not gonna be for bass heads. It's not going to give you that subwoofer type feel. And this has a lot to do with the fact that it's not completely sealing your ear tips. And a lot of that's just kind of escaping as you're listening to music, but they definitely tune these up so that you are able to feel bass a little bit more than you are with other flathead style earbuds. Now, the mids on these, again, this was another thing that was a little bit different, that you can tell that they're trying to go for this natural approach. There's not a whole lot of forwardness to it when it comes, especially to male vocals, but with female vocals, they're definitely a step or two up a little bit more in front. Now, I think this has to do with the fact that the treble has this nice brightness to it. And again, I think that's what's bringing out higher frequencies like female vocals a little more up front. Now, it's not to say that male vocals get buried or anything in the mix. They kind of sound just right there in the middle, like they're untouched, they're left alone. And the overall sound of these actually is pretty natural. Now, when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, because of its design, it definitely has this open sound, and it really does do a good job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. So my overall opinion is this. This style of earbud is not going to be for everyone. Already the fact that it's a wired product means it's not going to be for everybody, because there's so many devices now that don't have that normal 3.5mm headphone jack. Because I don't think everybody's sold on having true wireless earbuds or wireless headphones. They're not ready to have those replace their wired devices. And so I still appreciate products like the Moondrop U2s, because I think its simplicity is what makes it stand out. It's not trying to be flashy. I do, again, like the industrial look, and I think they did a fantastic job with tuning these and using that larger driver so that you can still have a pretty dynamic listening experience on a product that's not generally made to have that dynamic sound come out of it. Now, again, do keep in mind, like I said earlier, if you are a bass head, this is not going to check that box. It's just not capable of doing that. And although I think they did a good job of tuning the bass up, you're just not gonna have that like rumble feel to it. It's, again, not capable of doing that. It's a nice product to have where you just, again, can just pull it out of your pocket, plug it into whatever device, and then you're good to go. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Moondrop U2. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.